Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. I hope you are having a beautiful day. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jean Collins, and I do health and wellness and chemical-free living with Young Living essential oils. I have chosen them because they have the seed to seal process. They own multiple farms throughout the world, and truly my life has been changed. I used to be sick all the time, really had bad acne, and got a reference book, got some oils, started using them consistently, switched out my products, got into the Young Living clean products. Life was truly changed. So that's my story. That's why I share Young Living, and that's why I'm interested in helping more people not only find the business opportunity in this, because right now that is really important to have that business opportunity. So we are doing the part 2 from this great training that we got at the convention from Rob Sperry. And he was talking mostly about Facebook in general, or networking and connecting, and this section is the cold to close.
This was a really great talk. And the cold to close idea, these are like business terms. So it's like if you kind of have a cold audience, it means they don't necessarily know about the product that you want to talk to them about. Maybe they're even new to you, like they're like a stranger. So how do you go and kind of do that? You've heard the term cold call. It's like, how do you reach out, get interest, and then eventually do the close, which is to be like, hey, you want to buy the product? So how do you warm up these cold contacts? So number one, Facebook interest group. So find a Facebook group about something that you're interested in, and it doesn't have to actually be related to your business. So he gives an example of he loves hiking. So he's going to go and authentically enjoy this group.
The Facebook group is a great idea, whatever you're passionate with, and so that you can have those real conversations. So that would be step 1, is that whatever interest group you want to join. And then step 2 is you like and comment in the group, and you can kind of feel out with how people are communicating who you want to engage with. So you're making that engagement, and you're talking with them.
So number 3, you want to make an engaging post in the group yourself. So once you kind of get a feeling, you're enjoying the group, you've made some connections by commenting and liking some posts, and you're getting a feel for what kind of posts actually get engagement too would be a good idea. And then you make an engaging post about something you're interested in. So you want to do something of value that's related to the group. And a good kind of check is to scroll down as much as you can. Some groups have tons and tons of posts, but at least look in the recent past and make sure you're not repeating a post that's already been done, essentially. So you want it to be something somewhat novel. And asking questions is good inside of it. So there's this kind of idea in business, especially in the internet, where you're putting something out there and then you're asking someone to kind of grab onto it. It's not like you're actually in person and you have that engagement already. So it's like, if you scroll down, what are you interested in? What are you like, oh, I'm going to totally respond to this question, or I need to comment on this. That's the kind of post you want to make. And then keep in mind that the most recent engagement moves to the top of the page for the group. So if you're going to respond to comments, for example, you want to do it not necessarily right away after the person makes the comment and you get that notification that they've made the comment. Maybe save it to later that day or the next day, because every time someone engages with that post, then it moves it up to the top. So the idea is you want to keep your post front and foremost in people's minds. Keep it at the top.
I think it is a good idea because of what Allison already mentioned on that keeps that post at the top of that page. So replying one at a time and kind of maybe writing yourself a sticky note or whatever, or what have you. So then you would go and ask for friend requests for the people that commented. Once you get the friend request, or even as you sent it, you probably want to send that messenger right away and say that you just want to connect up and that you have something, you're glad that they like your post, and you just start to ask them questions to get to know them and create a conversation.
So you've gone into the group, you've commented, you've liked, you've made your own post, then you've commented on the people's responses to your post. Then you're like, oh, these people are interested in talking to me, or maybe these other people from this post I commented on. So I'm going to do a friend request. I'm also going to send them a message in Messenger. And we talked about this before, how that's really a direct line to somebody versus if you tag them in a post, sometimes they follow it and sometimes they don't. So the direct message is at least like, you know, you've got the little icon that shows that they've at least read it. So you do know that. And then leading questions, number 6. So for example, you kind of get a sense of what they like, and they're, you know, you're in a group together about hiking. So then he's like, well, you know, what supplements do you take for hiking or to keep your health really top notch so that you can hike more and more, you know, kind of thing. So you're asking them questions that are related to something that they like and that are also related to the business that you're trying to promote. But initially, of course, you're asking them authentically because you want to know.
It is going with that, like authenticity, that open heart, that really being yourself. Ask and invite them to maybe a Facebook group.
Once you've asked this person to be your friend, you've messaged them, and then you're like, hey, do you want to like my Facebook group? Or here's another Facebook group you also might be interested in. So you can follow up with things like, hey, I saw this link online about the supplements you should take for hiking, or maybe even send them to a Young Living link, or maybe to a video you've made yourself about supplements and hiking. Wouldn't that be good? And then, yeah, you can give them like tools. You can send them links, showing interest in what they're interested in. And then the signing up.
Ask for the sale. And I mean, you might have already gotten a sense of how they communicate, but you can also look at how, or think about how you would like to be asked getting X, Y, and Z product. And if I was focusing on supplements, it would probably be Ningxia Red. But then for exercise and hiking, I mean, we have Agiles, we have BLM, Sulfurzyme. So there's a lot of things, but I would probably focus on the Ningxia Red in general because it's that whole food antioxidant supplement that just supports all of your energy and all of your organs to work synergistically together. So I'd probably start with Ningxia Red.
Yeah, and that's really smart because a lot of people, having been in Chinese medicine and in clinical setting for a long time, trying to convince people to change their diet or to take a supplement or something, or to take Chinese herbs, they're often like, I don't like the taste of Chinese herbs and I don't like to take pills. So Ningxia Red is so perfect because it tastes delicious, it's got essential oils in it, and it's so good for you, and it's not a pill. And in addition, people might be hesitant about, you know, like dropping the vitality oils into their water. How would it taste? Or what if I put too many drops, or get concerned because they're not used to doing something like that? Then you've already got the essential oils inside the Ningxia Red. So that's awesome. So yes is wonderful, but no is not right now. So you want to make notes in your phone, sticky note, a notebook you have for it, whatever, that you want to contact them in a while. So that depends on you, how long that while is before you contact them again. He recommended maybe in about 3 months or so. Perhaps these days, modern life's pretty quick, maybe in like 6 weeks, I would imagine. But you could also get a time frame from the customer. So you want to kind of ask them like, hey, you know, it seems like you're not interested right now, but because of our previous conversations, it seems like you are actually generally interested, but not in this cell right now. Would it be okay if I contacted you in 6 weeks, in 3 months, to check in with you again, to see where you're at, to talk about this with you? And he said most people will say, yeah, of course you can. Or they'll say, oh, for the next 3 months, I'm going to be in this project at work. Like, how about in 4 months? Okay, so in your notebook, you write, in 4 months, I'm going to contact them again. So it's really good to have some kind of organization around who you've contacted. And I believe Jean and I were talking about this before, that you have a list or kind of a spreadsheet thing about who you've contacted, when you contacted them, how you contacted them. So that's something we're talking about Facebook right now, but you do want to check in with the customer kind of about how they would like to be contacted. Would they like to talk? Would they like to text, etc.? So those are important things. Do they love Facebook? Some people kind of only respond to Facebook Messenger. They don't respond to an email. They don't respond to a text. So being clear about that with the customer is really important, and keeping good notes on it is going to allow you to not be overbearing to them because, oops, I forgot that I just contacted them 2 weeks ago and I told them it was going to be 3 months till I contacted them again, or you're kind of spamming them with group emails. The unfortunate thing about that is people are going to get turned off, and then you might unsubscribe, and then you've lost their email address, etc. So try to be sensitive. Trying to be sensitive to those things, I think, is really important.
Definitely. And this is the contact me card, and I can show you because now I grabbed a blank one. So this is one new tool that I've been using from Sarah Harnish. And this is something that, yeah, originally it's for people to fill out, and then you follow up with them. On the back side is for you to follow up with them. But since we're not, so that's the back side, for you to make notes and follow up. Like these little notes down here, these little boxes, what I do is I'll put the date, and I have little codes, like T means I texted them, E means I emailed them, VMT is voice message text. So I have little codes and a little key. If you want the whole key, just message me and I'll happily give it to you. What I do is every month I print out my whole team, and that's how I do my care calls. And then maybe I'll just so I'll make a little bit more detailed notes, because I know that with writing it down, it'll help me put it in my memory. So then that's how I know more or remember things. People have been like, wow, you remembered that this happened? I'm like, yeah, I did. But I took notes on it. I took it into not just short term, I took it into my long-term memory. But I wanted to mention also the RISE booklet. A lot of you have already gotten this from me. And if you haven't, you can either print it out yourself or I can send it to you. Or if you're new and you're like just finding this and you're like, oh, this is cool. Of course, join our team. We're looking forward to that. And the cool thing about this with this RISE booklet is you have areas of where to fill in, and it kind of breaks it down to like, was it from social networking? Was it from church? Is it a supportive family member? Is it just maybe moms, other moms? Is it this, some other like favorite restaurant that you found, wherever these people are, however you met them. So it's kind of nice. It breaks it down into different categories. Like it gives you accountability and when to follow up and whatnot. So this RISE booklet is awesome because it gives you an idea of creating a 90-day plan. And then you can either you can do a notebook, you can, so I use the contact me cards, and I also use my date book because sometimes I will just randomly text people or be like at my phone. Like I utilize and maximize my time to the max. But I'm also aware of, like, you kind of see it in Facebook Messenger, like, oh, the last time I texted them was about an event. So let's kind of do a caring question. Let's check in with them, So sometimes these cards for me are a little out of date because maybe I won't have them with me to pull them out. Maybe I'll be at the grocery store or whatnot. And that's kind of why I like Facebook Messenger for that aspect, because it's always pretty much there. Whereas with my phone, I'll have to sometimes delete my text messages. To recap, great if they signed up. Either way, if they signed up or they didn't, you want to follow up. You want to still build that relationship, because in network marketing, it is relationship marketing. You're going to thrive by creating those relationships. It's not a one and done thing. It's not like you going to a store and buying some water and then you're not going to see that cashier ever again. The idea is you want to create that relationship and really help them, especially with health and wellness. You have to ask those follow-up questions, and depending on where they're at. So you're essentially helping them to rise up and ask more questions.
That's great. It just points out that in the business that we're doing here, the modern business, like, we've got so many outlets for communication. We've just really got to stay organized. So for me, I'm thinking of an alternate thing to what Jean said. I might do something like I make a notebook page for one person, right? So over time, I've got enough to do this and the other side for that one person, to follow up on the different ways I've contacted them, when I've contacted them, building that relationship. And then I might try, ideally, to do something like, 8 o'clock every morning, I go through that and I go, who have I got to contact today? So if you can have some kind of routine around it too, then even if you're at the store that day, you realize that at 8 o'clock you went through that and you said, oh, I have to contact Lydia and Sam today. And you could do that via Facebook Messenger or whatever. And then maybe at the end of the day at like 8 p.m., you go back and then you put the information in the one notebook.
That's beautiful. I like this, breaking it down even more. See, teamwork, different ideas, brains coming together, figuring things out. Maybe I'll do a loose leaf binder and then alphabetize it. It's just so interesting. There's so many different ways. You have to find the best way for you. But I love that, Allison. Thank you so much. And maybe I should have been better at that with my notebook, starting at 8 a.m. and being like, who do I need to contact? Having a separate list on a sticky to throw in my phone or to throw in my purse if I'm running out the door, and then reviewing at 8 p.m. That's awesome. That's discipline, you guys. That is discipline.
It's all an idea. I wish I could be that. I'm moving toward being that disciplined.
Good. But the idea is the start,
It's the social media daily MO. So like a daily mode of operation. So post daily, 5 minimum non-business related reach outs. So that's building the relationships. Add friends on social media. So you're always kind of bringing in new friend, reaching out with requests, and then asking someone every day to look at your business or product and then follow up. So those are all like like different tasks you're going to look at every day. And it's not all for the same person. It's going to be for people that are in different stages of relating with you and your business.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think that covers it. The huge thing with being successful in this is creating those relationships. So that usually means following up. And you got to find some sort of system, some sort of way to make that possible and make that happen. And also realize, though, that if they're a decent and genuine human being, if you did reach out to them again a little early, and they're not going to be weird about it. And if they are kind of weird about it or rude about it, then maybe you don't need them on your team. It's just kind of being bold and having that mindset ahead of you to make sure that you are, we will definitely talk about mindset next time, because actually it's the next one is mindset to success. But mindset, what are you, so recently with mindset, I had gone and shared today's event at 11 with people, but I had a different mindset about it. So I got more responses back from people through Messenger. And I also asked, or would 2 weeks be better for you? Can you do tomorrow, or is 2 weeks better? And I got responses for the 2 weeks better. And I already have that event up, so now I share that event. So it's still letting me know that they're interested and that they need more time. So that mindset, which we'll go over next time, is the mindset to success.
That's awesome. And that just asking that question also kind of puts that tag on there, that kind of like, oh, I have to respond to the question. It would be good to respond to Jean's question. And so it creates that engagement too. Not only do you get great information about when it would all work best together, but also you get the back and forth. You get more back and forth, more relating, more relationship.
Exactly. I love that. Well, I have to go. We have to end this. So Allison, thank you so much for your time. Thank you guys for watching and viewing. If you want to connect with us, all of our info is down below in the comments, or if you're on my Facebook page and my team page, then just comment on this beautiful video. And you guys, we'll see you soon. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.